So, all right. So, this idea of how do you recover your creativity, it's not gone. It's that you've paved so many years of experience over top of being light and fresh that you just don't remember. And Leonard Cohen always used to say that, not always used to say, but anyway, he was one of his quotes is that he would like to play. He loved playing his songs to see if he could re-enter the emotion that started the song in the first place. And as I was thinking about this, that quote came to mind because one of the exercises that's been so good for me as I've been trying to reconnect with my earlier sort of inspirations is that I've been revisiting some of my old sketchbook pages, and that has been extremely useful. You can pick so many different inputs that can become something else. So I'm just going to create a new layer, and this I use this. I'm building it still, so please excuse the hinkiness of it. But as I go through, and let's pick something. Let's see, an ink brush, and let's pick a color that stands out. Here's a nice example. So one of the things that's really nice is that by working in layers, I can really revisit some of my old visual ideas, and I can revisit them from different directions. For example, I just realized, like, hey, that's kind of cool. I wonder what happens if I change colors. What if each different direction gets a different color? I hadn't thought about that before. And, when you're drawing with ink by hand, and I don't think you should move straight to digital, I don't think that's, I think that the best thing is a hybrid. You want both. You want the ability to draw with consequences that are immediate and permanent, and you want to also be able to go back and edit and see things from a different light. And when we would do our essays in English class in school, the teachers would ask us for a revision, and I like that word because iteration is geeky and great and nerd speak, and that's something that I definitely also enjoy, but it doesn't tell you the story. Whereas if you say revision, you're re-seeing it, so you're seeing your work again, sort of from the first time, and you're reinterpreting it, and you're revisiting your own ideas, and you can see, oh, I was super aware of what I was trying to do, but what I wasn't aware of is what I could have done. So this idea of doing things with the perspective of what you could have done, well, then you're doing something different. You're re-seeing the lens of your opportunity to create. And by revisioning your work in your sketchbooks, what you're doing is you're seeing your own ideas from a different perspective, giving yourself the ability to create at a more conscious level. You're also doing what engineers do when they iterate and they add value at each stage. They tackle one problem at a time. And by being able to take an app like this one and take your old sketchbooks and revise your original works, you're allowing yourself to incrementally add value. So what have I created here? Just by responding, nothing super fancy, I have these new forms that I can experience and think about and play with. So that's just food for thought. You don't have to do brilliant things. You got to wake yourself up slowly, rediscover your own inner brilliance, because that's the one that matters. That's the light that lights you up. And like I said with the Leonard Cohen quote, finding out what you can re-inhabit, if it's an exercise that you do as a playful self-discovery, at least in my case, I don't regret it. It's a wonderful way to re-see your old work.